Okay, folks, we're here. We're going to be talking about Cenk Uygar and what's been happening with him recently. So I want to start off by showing you some of the kind of reasonable things he said on Patrick Bet David's podcast. Comes across great. Sounds professional. He's very agreeable sometimes. So yeah, we're just going to get into that. So I'll show you that quickly.
To me, like, look, I want to propose this as rules for the internet.
I want to hear it. Go for it.
Just to let you know, this is my first video. I would really appreciate the like and subscribe. Thanks.
It's number one rule. When we disagree, we fight. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. This America. Okay, we disagree. We got freedom of speech. Let's rumble. Let's brawl. There's nothing wrong with that.
What do you mean rumble and brawl?
I mean, of course, rhetorically, politically,
Debating.
not violent.
I'll throw down right now, Jim.
Take it easy.
Because as simple as that sounds, that was not popular with the left the last 8 years. We've invited so many people from the left, and we will always invite them, but unfortunately, they don't like to fight as much as the other side likes to fight. Okay,
Yeah,
what's rule two?
Rule number two of the internet. Afterwards, you must have a beer together. Okay?
Tip O'Neill and Reagan.
Yeah. And so what I mean by that is you don't have to love the other guy. You don't have to agree with him. But we got to go back to being Americans, right? So, okay, we have a fight. Then let's go get a beer. So what? Okay, I don't agree with you on healthcare. I don't agree with you on trans issues. And I know some people say, hey, look, is there a line that goes too far? Yeah, for some people, there's a line that goes too far. But in general, let's go back to listening to one another. We've been yelling at each other. And by the way, I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I mean, I think as far as yelling on the internet goes, to your point, yeah, I've done that many, many times. But I try to have a beer afterwards so that we can still be a country together. Okay?
So, you know, when he says all things like that, you know, he is very agreeable. He sounds great when he's talking often. He covers some quite good ground when he's talking about, you know, populism. But then sometimes he goes on Piers Morgan and he says stuff like this to Dave Rubin.
Not like Dave Rubin, a giant sellout fraud.
Wow.
Who changed all of his positions and is totally useless and it shouldn't even be on here. He's just a waste of space.
Wow. Really? After what all
Okay,
Dave
yeah.
said about coming
Yeah.
together?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've not got no interest in coming together with utter frauds like Dave Rubin. So, brother, you telling me that when you were on the Young Turks, you were Mr. Progressive and you agreed with us 100%. Now, all of a sudden, you agree with Trump 100%. You're not saying something nuanced like we are. Hey, you know, when the guy gets shot at and he puts his fist up, that's courageous. When he does the McDonald's photo op and it works fine, no problem, right? If he wants to cut the Pentagon, great. Those are progressive positions. Anti-corruption, progressive position. Anti-war, progressive position. But you change all of your ideology overnight and you expect us to believe that that's real? I don't think it's real at all. And I want an apology from you for all the crazy, outrageous lies that you told about the Young Turks. When is that going to happen, huh?
Wow.
And when are you going to admit that you changed all your positions for money? Okay. Well, what position do you still have that's in
Jake,
any
you
way
need
a
an
so-called
awfully-
classic liberal? You fraud.
Dave?
Piers, it's barely worth responding to this ridiculous buffoon who's the joke of the industry.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I will say this, Cenk, I haven't spoken to you in 10 years.
Even right when you're thinking you're a total fraud.
I don't think he's a fraud or a
puppy
joke.
that
I
they
think Dave
have.
Rubin is, for what it's worth, I think Dave Rubin is one of the most influential and significant voices out there right now. And
Piers, I appreciate that.
I admire his honesty
Right
about the
wing or
journey he's
left
been
wing,
on,
none.
Cenk.
He's a
Piers, I
universal
appreciate
joke.
that, but you know the thing is, what Cenk just proved is exactly what everyone in America, and I would say all over the world, is getting over. Nobody wants what he just offered up there. Not only does no one believe it, and he had it prepackaged and ready to go, and it's complete drivel. Yes, I sold out. Like, it's so nonsensical. Again, Cenk, I'll gladly send you a signed copy of the book, and you can read all of my thoughts. And if you're anti-corruption and you're anti-war, you should be on the Trump train. But your endless hatred, the division that you sow, calling everyone racist and white supremacists, all of that stuff, it's why you're not respected. But I don't.
So then, it's super hard to like Cenk when he starts going on like that. It's too much, you know. And there's sometimes he'll do impressions of Trump and it's cringe. Like it's super hard to warm to somebody who's that kind of, who argues like kind of like an angsty teenager. I see myself as a bit of like a moderate. Like, I don't see myself as like fully right wing, although I do lean kind of to the right. I want to like Cenk. He's kind of populist. I think he's right. He's often right about when he's talking about when, left wing populism used to be like anti-war and anti-big pharma and all these things that kind of Trump says, but because Trump said it, like, the left-wing populists can't align with him. But Anna Kasparian is aligning. They're starting to align with some of the stuff. It looks great for her because at some point America's going to get a female president, and if they want somebody on the Democrat side to like run as a female president, then Anna Kasparian is looking great in that position. So it'd be interesting to see her maybe in the next 8 to like 12 years go into that position. Well, to certainly try and go for that position. She's aligned in the sense that Cenk's already got that experience of running. Although he was unsuccessful, it's all still experience. They're close. That Anna said she's his ride or die. So, she's not going to move away from Cenk anytime soon, I don't think, because, Cenk's a hothead. She's not as crazy as Cenk. Like, she's way more agreeable. Well, she can have like rants too, but everybody can have a rant. But she comes across a lot more professional and, a lot more put together. But I guess the point of this video is, like, I wish, like, Cenk would just kind of focus a bit more and just chill out a bit more. He looks really bad. Like, see when he goes against like people like Candace Owens, who are like super well put together, like articulate, and she and on Piers Morgan's at times is just like super chill, and it just, when you see the contrast of those two people arguing, it is mind-blowing when you see how popular Cenk is when you compare the two of them arguing, because like it's night and day. Like Candace, even if Candace is wrong about something, she still looks better than he does, because he rambles and shouts and denigrates people, and it just ends up being a bit cringe. But that said, he's been on Piers Morgan on the 7th of this month, which is just a couple of days ago since recording this, and I listened to it with an open mind, and he came across great throughout. I'm pretty sure the whole video on Piers Morgan Uncensored, the whole time he was great. He'd kind of and he was talking about populism. He was talking about. Which is a good point. In fact, I'll just play a quick clip of that. So here we go.
Yeah, first of all, I got a note. I love this conversation. And I'm going to do something really interesting here, that I'm going to commend the right wing for having a civil war. So us on the left, we're supposed to snicker and go, oh, look at them disagreeing. But you're supposed to disagree.
Yes.
You're not supposed to be robots. And the fact that they're disagreeing with one another is actually a great sign. That means that they're thinking for themselves. So in terms of what Vivek and Elon said, Vivek is both right and wrong. So if he wants to celebrate nerds, I love it. I was an honor student. I went to good schools. I was a nerd, and I'm proud of it, right? But he didn't have to put down jocks and other Americans, et cetera. I was also a jock, right? I also played middle linebacker for a football team, and there's nothing wrong with jocks. There's nothing wrong with any Americans, right? So in terms of the H-1B visas, look, they've produced some wonderful results here in America, and I love that we're getting the best talent from all across the world and coming here. It makes us stronger, and you see that, and especially if you're a right-winger and you support Elon Musk, you can see, well, he was an H-1B guy, so it made us stronger, right? And by the way, Steve Jobs' dad was a Syrian Muslim immigrant. That immigration made us stronger. Now, having said that, I do empathize with what Vinny is saying. We're getting a lot of people who are progressives, both from the audience, but then you're seeing it from Bernie Sanders and Ro Khanna in Congress as well.
So then, on that, I heard him say, when I listened to it the other day, I was like, oh, well, that's totally reasonable. He's not lost his mind. And in that that clip, he was talking about how the right wing can disagree with each other and they can have a dialogue with each other, and hopefully they can sort it out between themselves and come up and more dialogue is the thing that eventually somebody's going to give. Somebody's going to come up with the best idea, and that idea is going to win if they can talk it out. Whereas, and you see this with Anna Kasparian on the left wing side, if she starts talking about populism and starts talking about, well, Trump might have a good idea here, or Vivek, or somebody who's maybe a bit more articulate. Like, I mean, Vivek's super strong, so like he is an agreeable person, but because he's right wing, and if a left winger seem to agree with even the most common sense thing, they just get slated. And Anna Kasparian's a great example for it, because she's such a target from people from our own party as well, and she tries super hard to be like nice and stuff, but it's it doesn't always help. They'll still come after her. So in a utopian world, Anna Kasparian is a right winger, but while Cenk's there, I think she's loyal, so that's good. That's always a good characteristic to have. So that's pretty much what I've got for you in this video. This is my first YouTube video, so I would really appreciate the like, and most importantly, subscribe if you like this type of content. And let's go. I want to try and get as many subscribers as possible, obviously, but it's the beginning of the channel. We're going to gradually pick up, and I'm going to invest in making content better. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. You can give me some ideas for more videos to cover. I mean, I've got a lot out every day, there's something happening, so I'm quite keen to just keep pumping out content. But if you got any suggestions, let me know. But thanks very much.